Finally, in April 2002, a small colony of 3 breeding pairs are sighted nesting on a stony cliff about 50 kilometers from Palmyra. The discovery was a major surprise to the scientist. The only other colony of Middle Eastern bald ibis had survived in Turkey until becoming extinct in the mid-1980s. Since then, it was believed that the birds had disappeared throughout their former range in the Middle East. However, reported sightings of the bald ibis in Saudi Arabia and Eritrea gave hope that a colony of birds might exist somewhere. Now, in Al-Badia, these 3 pairs have been found incubating eggs. But their existence is fragile, threatened by the destruction of their breeding ground and habitat.
After we found these birds, we decided to, we had two ways of trying to protect the birds. One way was just to keep the secret about where the cliff was. The other way was just to inform as much as possible the people, trying to raise their awareness, trying to convince them how important was to protect these birds. So we chose the option of trying to raise the awareness and trying to convince the people to help us.
شفت الطيور؟
اي
برافو، وين شفتهن؟
هذا
نمتى وانت تعرف الطيور هذه؟
هالسنة
هالسنة هذه، قبل ما كنت تعرف؟
لا.
كم طير شفت اليوم؟
13.
13 طير.
أي.
وين راح؟ وين جا؟
جاء
جن على السد ليه؟
أي.
بعد السد؟
بعد السد راح نقاع.
عطار.
اي
طبعا أكيد.
When I come home, my children ask me about my work and want to know if what I'm doing is useful. They know what I do is important because I protect the animals. We protect these animals also for their future and must have better results compared with those of today.
The bald ibis is a puzzle. The Bedouin told Dr. Syria the birds come to these desert cliffs in spring to lay their eggs and raise the chicks. They leave in July, but where to is a mystery. Dr. Syria calls in help from British researchers from BirdLife International. He hopes that with the aid of satellite tracking, they may solve the mystery of where the birds go to.
We have come specifically now to try to put a transmitter on one of the birds. One really important thing question is, where do these birds go? And they disappear from the immediate region, but whether they go nearby in Syria or to Eritrea or Yemen or another country, we don't really know. So any future attempts to conserve the species, we must know the answer to that question.
For the last 10 days, researchers Chris Bowden and Glenn Tyler have been attempting, without any luck so far, to capture an ibis and attach a satellite transmitter to the bird. Time is short. They only have permission to be here for 10 days, and the young birds are ready to make the journey.
It's quite light, and we will just put a harness around the bird so it will carry the transmitter for 1 year, and then it will fall off afterwards. Well, I guess we have to try again tomorrow.
Okay.
Today is the last day when capture can be attempted. The team set off at dawn towards the marsh where the ibis come to hunt for frogs and lizards. They must reach it before the birds, but need to make a quick stop to pick up new traps from a local hunter. Glenn Tyler will spend long hours in a hide, so he packs a snack and a book.
Okay.
Would you like some biscuits?
Yeah. They're really good for capanno.
Il biscottino del capanno?
We're using 3 different trapping methods. The main hope is a selective method with a clap net which springs over with elastic and bringing the birds to a certain point that they are familiar with going, and with a dry lizard which we electronically manipulate to move to bring the birds with curiosity. So that's our main hope, but we're also using more traditional methods of nooses with help of local hunters, but taking good care that we're close enough to take the bird out. Immediately it is being caught. So that's one reason that we are using the hide very close by, that we can, if a bird is caught, we can get to it very quickly.
Researcher Glenn Tyler waits in the hide under the sweltering sun. It's a long wait for everyone. The rest of the team stays inside the tent at the base camp, avoiding any movement which would scare off the birds. But all efforts have failed. After 10 days of hide and seek, in spite of the ingenious trapping techniques and long hours waiting, the mission must be abandoned. BirdLife's researchers will be ready to try the following spring, hoping that this remnant population will have survived the winter in its unknown refuge.
We've learnt a lot from our experiences already, and we will certainly try even harder next year to do the same.
In the meantime, it's vital to protect the birds and their breeding site. It's a task that depends on the whole community. Changing the habits of hunters like Hadid Adid is essential.
Yeah, I changed my behavior. I tried to be a bird watcher, and now I'm a guide for bird watcher. We must lift for our sons some of these birds to see this bird as we enjoy it.
Very helpful against hunters during these past months. He was very important. And he put some pictures about the Bald Ibis on the wall.
The project as well take the whole issue as a participatory approach issue. We don't deal with each part separately. We deal with each part together with the population related to it.
The Talila project will play a large part in ensuring the survival of not only the birds but also other rare species. Public awareness projects like this one in the village of Arak near Talila target both adults and children.
The project make 5 clubs for children, 20 children in each club and 1 teacher. This work is more important for the future because the children will improve al-Badia inshallah in the future and will work with their community and improve their education.
The FAO project gives public awareness priority. Talila's Eco-Museum has just been completed. The aim is to educate local people and tourists about the steppes' natural wealth.
The communication extension education programs that the project is using actually depends on several methods actually in order to transfer this education awareness message to Bedouin.
The museum has a small shop selling the products of local women. The project trains them to make clothes and produce dairy products.
This work means a lot to us. We must develop it since it's a community of 460 families and the income from the shop is not enough for us all. We need to sell our products all over Syria and bring them to the market in Palmyra, Aleppo and Damascus, or we might even be able to export them.
This project is just a beginning, showing local people can benefit from conservation and eco-tourism. Despite growing community awareness, the ibis is still in danger. Its nesting ground lies outside the boundaries of Talila Reserve, and no law protects it.
There is a need for a national legal framework concerning the protected areas. In fact, there is a kind of gap regarding this issue, and this is badly needed for the future. So after all this, probably a kind of ecotourism could be developed. The key point is involving the people, the local people. If the local people are happy, if they can gain benefits from ecotourism, they will care for biodiversity and they will care for the wildlife and their natural heritage.
I personally hope that some money some funding will be available to pursue and monitor the Bald Ibis discovery. It's very important, and it cannot just be dropped like this.
The ibis is very important to attract tourists and also to ensure the good quality of our desert's environment. It is possible to conserve the steppe's nature and also progress at the same time. We hope the ibis will keep coming back to this area.
Yes, I believe the future will be better.
So a fragment of the bald ibis population still survives. But for how long? Gianluca Sierra says we have a second chance to save the bird that the ancient Egyptians once revered. The project team is pressing for new laws to be made to protect the steppe and its wildlife. Essential will be additional funding to help safeguard the bird's nesting site. And extra funds are needed to help scientists find out where it migrates to, for there may be other hazards on its route and at its destination. In March, a collective breath will be held to see if Abu Anouk, the son of the scythe, returns to Al-Badir.